Oh man.
No, but yeah, I mean, I get you though. I mean, you're at that stage in your life where you've worked so hard to get where you're at, and you're kind of ready to, for that next step. What about, so yeah, so you said if you were younger, what advice would you give for someone maybe in their 20s, or that wants to come to Tulum? What advice would you give them on maybe starting into real estate, which you're really into, or some kind of business, or how to move here? What's your advice?
I gotta sit up for this one.
Oh man, okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me put my real estate advisor hat on. I think right now, if I was in my 20s, then I would 100% focus on doing what you need to do to enjoy your life more than anything. Because what I did in my early 20s is I did what everyone told me that I had to do. And then that wasted so many years of my life, because it wasn't until I started doing what I wanted to do that life kind of opened up to me. Because when you do the things that you want to do and you take the risks, which is coming from someone that just said that I'm risk averse right now. So I know this is pretty hypocritical, but especially when you're younger, if you take the risk and you go out there, then life has a way of opening up to you. And then life will introduce you to the people you need to meet. It'll give you the opportunities that you need to have. And then, like, say for instance, I went to school for psychology. That didn't really work out. And then history, that was stupid. And then sociology, maybe. And then finally graduated in PR. And it took me 7 years to go through college trying to figure this out. And there was 7 years of wasted time.
Party, Sean.
And that was also a lot of parties too. But it was also a massive amount of debt. And whereas right now, I don't think that people need to, especially 20-year-olds, don't need to go to college. Like, they can just, I mean, look at you, man. You could just pop down here and start a podcast, get a nice camera, be cool to hang out with. And next thing you know, you're making great money.
Yeah, why would you go to school, especially now when everything is closed up? You can't even party. I mean, that's why you go to school, to socialize and have fun and learn, but also to make the network connections. And if you can't, if you're wearing a mask, I don't know how universities are open now, but so yeah, you would come here to Tulum or go travel somewhere, I think. Take the risk.
And it also depends on what you're doing. I mean, if you're passionate about being a scientist or engineering, or if you're trying to be a lawyer, then obviously you're not going to just
come to Tulum.
Come to Tulum. Like, hey, I'm going to party and figure out how to be a lawyer. I'm going to pass my bar exam because I've had a bunch of bars on the beach.
I'm going to study biology and be a doctor here. And I mean, you could, but not to say. But anyways,
the point is that I think that more than anything, especially when you're younger, in other cultures, it's very, very, very common for people to do like a walkabout or to go explore the world. And by exploring the world and getting out of your comfort zone, you explore yourself and you become more comfortable with yourself. Like, you really do become the person that you are versus the way that your parents and society in your small village or town and everything is told to you of who you are, because this is who you were raised by and this is who people are in your town. And you might kind of go outside of your bubble a little bit and be like, maybe I'm not that 100%, but basically you're kind of that person.
Right.
But when you're thrown into a situation where you're living in a hut with no AC on the side of a beach in Tulum, or I'm not in Tulum, but in like, let's say for instance, Thailand or the Philippines, and no one knows your name, and your long hair, wearing like these crazy ass clothes you never thought you'd wear, and back home all you cared about was hunting and then watching football and, politics. Next thing you know, I don't care about any of that stuff. Actually, when I go back, I don't ever want to care about that stuff again. Actually, I really care about animals. For some reason, I really want to work with dogs and stray dogs. I want to adopt dogs. And next thing you know, now you go back and you start a charity and foundation. And like, you never thought you were going to end up that way. And you never thought that was going to be your life. But it took losing yourself to find yourself. And you can only find yourself, in my opinion, when you're in a different place, completely alone. And that's just my advice.
Dude, I love that. That was so profound. Are you sure you're not a guru? I mean, you have the outfit and everything.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what I recommend for 20-year-olds. And if you can, try to get on as much YouTube or Khan Academy, I guess, or LinkedIn Learning. Just try to find some skills. Like, each morning when you wake up, if you were a creator, try to learn how to use Adobe or whatever, After Effects or Lightroom, or if you want to start getting a podcast, learn that. Just do some research and work on yourself every morning, because it gets so addicting of this carefree lifestyle. It's so addicting just to wake up and just get a smoothie and go to the beach and just hang out. And like, what are you doing? I guess I'm gonna go hang out with this chick I met on Tinder or whatever. And next thing you know, you're at a party that night. That's just today though. And then tomorrow turns into that, and the next day, and the next day. You start gaining weight, and you start losing money, and now you're like, I need to do something with my life. So if you make sure to make it a plan that you focus on your health first, focus on your diet, focus on your growth, and then second, focus on the socializing, then I think that this could be a great thing for most people.